What's up, you guys? So, I want to talk a little bit about the time that I took inspired action and made something possible when I thought initially it was impossible. And this actually goes, and this is in the book here. It's called Creating Your Own Happiness. This is my most recent book. You can go to creatingyourownhappiness.com to order it from Amazon if you would like. And this is one of the stories that I share in this book, which is how I learned English. So when I was 11 years old, I actually moved from Korea to Denver, Colorado, the US, not speaking much of English at all. So I remember I could say a few things in the way that you learn how to speak Spanish here when you're like in first grade. But like I didn't really know how to speak it. I could understand it a little bit, but I was really just jumping to this new country, really not having much awareness around the language as well as the culture and so on. So anyway, I remember this was like a few months into being in the US and I was in sixth grade. I walked into this bathroom, the girls' bathroom, and at the time I was in something called ESL, which is English as Second Language. So this is for foreign students who are coming from different countries who are learning English. This was the thing that I was in. So anyway, and I walked into the bathroom. I opened this one bathroom door, and it was like this gross bathroom. It was just like a dirty, gross stall. So then I was like, "Ooh, that's gross." And then I closed it. I didn't say gross because I didn't speak English at the time, but I closed the door and then kind of walked away and went to a different stall. Now, at that time, two of these American girls walk in. They kind of do the same thing. They open the stall and they're like, "Ew," right? They look at the grossness and they go, instead of just closing it and going to a different stall like I did, what they said was, "Ew, I bet it was one of those," in quotes, "retarded ESL kids." I was next door, like I was in the next stall, and I could hear it and I could understand it, even though I couldn't really speak English at the time, and I was an ESL kid. And mind you, before I moved from Korea to the United States, I was like the class president of my grade. I was, always just like number one or two in all the tests I took. Like I was a student who did pretty well. And so for me to be that person and be called retarded, I mean, that itself is very derogatory, but also it just really broke my heart because here I was, just because I didn't speak a language in the way that some native speakers did, I was being labeled and I was being, called a certain thing, and it just really broke my heart. So I remember at that time, I remember feeling angry. And I remember being like, you know what? I'm going to show them what's possible. I'm going to show them. That first summer, which was a few months, I think maybe 6 months into being in the US, I committed, I made a decision that I was gonna learn English, and there was no other choice. It just became a non negotiable for me that I was going to master English just like a native speaker over that summer. That first month of that first summer, I was going from, I believe, sixth grade to seventh grade. I read 30 books in that first summer or first month of that first summer. It was at the time the Babysitters Club. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a whole bunch of them. And I was just so determined. I just read and read and read. And at the time, there was no real like easy way to look up like a word. I had to go through the actual dictionary to look up different words. Anyway, I got through 30 books and I just really gave it everything I got to learn English. I would talk to people, talk to the few friends I sort of had back in the day on the phone, or talk to people on, back in the day it was like AIM. I would listen to all the Britney Spears song and try to remember all the lyrics so I can learn the language, all the things, anything and everything I can think of, I did. Long story short, I go back to school that following fall. I think it was August, and I go back into my counselor office, and they try to put me in ESL, and I said, "I don't think I need ESL anymore." And they looked at me and they said, "No one leaves ESL after 1 year. You've only been in it for a few months." And I said, "I know, but like I really I really think I'm ready for a normal English class, for a regular English class with everyone else. And they said, that never happens. I don't think you're ready. And I said, please give me a test, anything. I am willing to test out whatever you need to do. You can test me right now, anything. I think I'm ready. So I finally got them to, I think they gave me a test of some sort or interview. I can't remember exactly. But long story short, I was able to test out of ESL after that summer where I read 30 books. And within the following year, in 8th grade, I was in advanced English class. And by 9th grade, when I went to high school, I was in AP English. And long story short, by the time that I was in college, I graduated top of the class with 2 degrees in 4 years. And then now I'm an author, ironically, right? So I share this story with you guys because at the time, and there's several layers to this, by the way. So first of all, anger is such a powerful emotion. Anger makes you take massive inspired action because you want to get rid of that anger. You want to get rid of that icky feeling. So it is a powerful emotion that if you are feeling it, oftentimes you can actually leverage it for your benefit. Now, the problem was, the only thing that anger will do, even if it allows you to take massive action, is for you to just get to a point where you are eliminating that anger. Meaning, once you get rid of that anger, there's nothing else. You run out of fuel, you run out of the engine to keep you moving forward in the same way that you were. And oftentimes, when you're acting out of anger, you become so hyper-focused that you kind of forget about a lot of other things. This is what fear-based emotions do. This is survival emotions. Anything that is like anger, fear-based, these kind of emotions, they are really there to help you survive. At that time, I needed to survive socially. I needed to prove myself socially. And so it became such a thing for me to not only learn English, but like to fit in, to, do all the things that everyone else was doing. So that became like my big focus. Now, after I achieved that though, I didn't really know who I was. I didn't really have a vision that I can like anchor into. So even though I overachieved and I graduated top of the class in college and everything, after I graduated, I felt like I got my revenge, probably subconsciously back to those girls in 7th grade or 6th grade. But then after all that, I didn't have anything else that was really driving me to the next level for a long time. So even though I graduated top of the class, I just like started finding random jobs. I didn't really care about what I did with it that much. So I got a job at the bank. I hated it. I did work at an art school for a couple years, which I actually did love. So I loved that. And then I hopped around many sales jobs and all of that. So I didn't have the ability to like create a vision and like really go after it. So that is what I want to share based on like how powerful anger can be. However, there's another way that you can actually take massive action, and that is to actually create a vision that is so powerful, creative, and aligned with who you are and your soul's purpose, that it actually starts to motivate you even after you've eliminated all these not so feeling good feelings like anger or resentment or whatever. So that's what I started to uncover after I quit my corporate job back in 2018, after my dad passed away. Like it became really clear after my dad passed away. That was the first time that I experienced death in a powerful way, because I've never had anyone close to me die at the time. Up until then, it really became clear to me that my life is also going to end one day. And I wanted to really figure out who I was and figure out my soul's purpose. So at the time, I quit my corporate job and I really went after all the things. And one of the things I knew deep down in my heart that I wanted to do is help people in a deep way, help people transform in a deep way. I wanted to help people live a joyful, beautiful life in a deep way. And so I ended up starting my business and training to become a coach. at the time, which is how I ended up becoming a performance coach for entrepreneurs and high achievers as I do now, helping people transform through different kinds of transitions and really accessing their heart and soul and finding their purpose, all of these beautiful things that I love doing. Anyway, so at that point though, I had to really sit down and create my vision. Create my vision in a way that I've never done before. It was not because I wanted to run away from any anger anymore. It wasn't because I wanted to eliminate these feelings that I didn't want anymore. It was about creating a life that gets to be exciting, that gets to be so amazing in my own way, the way that I envision it, that it actually creates that engine. So that is what started to pull me for the last couple years. And one of the things I was so excited to create was a remote coaching business where I get to help people in a very powerful way and also become a content creator like this, YouTube, so that I can spread the message of all the things that I get to, talk about, creating new possibilities, the power of self-expression and vulnerability, and how to live a joyful, fulfilled life, and all of that. And I wanted to be location free. So I started traveling, I started doing all these things, and I got to be my own boss and start to create all these visions. And now here I am today. Anyways, and I can have a whole different video on that. But what I wanted to share is that there's two ways that you can actually take massive action, to be inspired to take massive action. One is to move away from pain, such as feeling angry. When I was really moving away from that anger, that's what fueled me. And then another way is to create a powerful vision enough that it starts to pull you. Now, for you to live a fulfilled life, it's most likely gonna be that you want to be here in the creative zone, in the place where you get to create like an actual vision for what you want and start to live towards it. This is where life gets to be fun, fulfilling, exciting, and all the yummy things. So anyway, I'll explain more of that in one of the next videos. But meanwhile, please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and if you like these kind of stories and the lessons and the teachings I'll be sharing here, please subscribe for more videos. My name is Yuri Choi. I'm a performance coach, I'm an author, I'm a YouTuber, and I'm the author of Creating Your Own Happiness. And if you are a high achiever or an entrepreneur and you are looking to move through some kind of transitions, or you want to understand your emotions and leverage them better, feel free to go ahead and schedule an initial consult down below so that we can get on a call and see if we can potentially work together. I am inviting a few people to work with me this month and probably in the following months. So just go ahead and inquire, and if there's an open spot, I'd be happy to work with you if it's a good fit. But other than that, please subscribe. There's going to be more videos coming. Thanks for listening, you guys. And if you have any questions for me or any comments based on what I shared, please feel free to share below. All right, love you guys so much, and I'll be back soon.